The 9 weirdest things I've experienced in Filipino culture. Today I want to share with you some of the most unusual and surprising things I've come across in Filipino culture. Now, before I start, let me be clear. When I say weird, I don't mean bad. I simply mean different from what I grew up with in the West. What might seem normal to Filipinos can feel unusual or surprising to foreigners like me, and the same goes the other way around. So, with that said, let's jump right into the 9 weirdest things I've noticed about life in the Philippines. 1. Birthdays. You pay for your own party in many Western countries. When it's your birthday, your friends take you out, buy you dinner, and cover all the costs. It's seen as a day where people celebrate you. But in the Philippines, the opposite happens. If it's your birthday, you're expected to treat everyone else. That means if you invite friends out to eat, you're the one who pays the bill. If you throw a party, you're the one who provides the food and drinks. It doesn't stop there. In workplaces, especially if you're in a leadership position, people expect you to provide a big feast for your employees. For CEOs or managers, it's common to bring in a whole roasted pig, lechon, as part of the birthday celebration. Now, I personally don't eat meat, so this tradition felt extra strange to me. But I quickly realized it's a deeply rooted cultural norm. Birthdays here aren't just about the individual being celebrated, they're about sharing blessings with the people around you. Still, if you're a foreigner moving here, you might want to budget for your birthday. Otherwise, your special day could leave you with an empty wallet. 2. Rice is life. If there's one thing you'll learn quickly in the Philippines, it's this: Filipinos can't live without rice. Every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks, usually comes with rice. It's not just food, it's a necessity. I've seen people order expensive dishes like steak or seafood, but if there's no rice on the side, they'll hardly touch the meal. To them, it doesn't feel complete without rice. There's even a local saying, "No rice, no meal." And honestly, it's true. You could put the most delicious dish in front of a Filipino, but without rice, they'll feel like something is missing. I often joke with my Filipino friends that the 3 essentials for life here are air, water, and rice. That's how important it is. 3. The tabo, a multipurpose tool. One of the first things foreigners notice when they enter a Filipino bathroom is the tabo. For those who don't know, a tabo is a small plastic dipper with a handle, usually kept near a bucket of water. It's most commonly used as a substitute for toilet paper. You scoop water and clean yourself. But the tabo isn't just for the bathroom. It's used for watering plants, rinsing floors, washing dishes, or even cleaning your feet after coming in from outside. At first, I thought this was unusual. But after living here, I started to realize it's actually brilliant. Using water is more hygienic than just relying on paper, and it's environmentally friendly too. So while it seemed weird at first, I've come to think the tabo is one of the smartest household tools ever invented. 4. Spoon and fork instead of knife and fork. In Western dining culture, we typically eat with a fork and a knife. But in the Philippines, the preferred utensils are spoon and fork. It threw me off at first. If someone is eating a steak, for example, instead of using a knife to cut it, they'll use the edge of their spoon. It takes some getting used to, but Filipinos are so skilled at it that you barely notice. Knives are actually not that common on Filipino dining tables. Whether it's for practicality or tradition, the spoon has taken over the role of the knife. 5. Eating with hands. Speaking of dining, another unique Filipino tradition is eating with bare hands. This practice is called Kamayan, and it often happens during communal meals. Food is laid out on banana leaves, rice, fish, meat, vegetables, and sauces, and everyone digs in using their hands. At first, I associated eating with hands as something kids did, not adults. My mom would have scolded me if I ever did it at the dinner table growing up. But here, it's not just acceptable, it's celebrated. There's something surprisingly fun and freeing about it. Sharing food this way feels more personal, more communal. And to be honest, it tastes even better. 6. The magic hand sign for crossing the road. If you've ever tried crossing a busy street in the Philippines, you'll know that drivers don't usually stop for pedestrians, even at crosswalks. But here's the trick: if you raise your hand while crossing, cars will often stop for you. It's like a superpower. Just lift your hand, palm facing forward, and suddenly vehicles slow down. Without it, you might be ignored completely. I call it the magic sign. To me, it's funny that a raised hand can make the difference between crossing safely or being run over. But for Filipinos, it's second nature. 7. Saying sorry when passing between people. Another cultural quirk I noticed is how Filipinos handle passing between two people talking. In my office, if two people are having a conversation and another person needs to squeeze past, they'll do this little bow, say, sorry, and shuffle quickly behind. It's like they've just committed some great offense. To me, it's not a big deal to walk past someone. But here, it's seen as impolite to interrupt, even non-verbally. So people apologize, almost excessively, just for passing through. What seems odd at first is actually a reflection of how polite and respectful Filipinos are. 8. Rain. The great excuse. Here's something that still makes me laugh: Filipinos treat rain like a major obstacle. If it starts raining, plans can get cancelled. People will say, sorry, I can't come, it's raining. To me, this doesn't make sense. I tell them, I'm waterproof, it's just water. But many Filipinos believe that going out in the rain will make them sick. Some even insist that rainwater has acid in it, which is why it's dangerous. To a foreigner, this seems strange. But to Filipinos, it's common sense. If it rains, better to stay home. 9. Pasalubong, souvenirs for everyone. Last but not least is the tradition of pasalubong. If you travel anywhere in the Philippines, even just a couple of hours away, you're expected to bring back gifts for family and friends. It doesn't matter if it's food, keychains, t-shirts, or local specialties. People will ask, where's my pasalubong? At airports, you'll often see Filipinos carrying big boxes of fruit like durian or pomelo to bring home as pasalubong. It's a serious matter. Sometimes, the cost of buying souvenirs can nearly double the expense of your trip. It may feel like a burden at times, but it also reflects the generosity and thoughtfulness of Filipino culture. Sharing your experiences, and the treats you found along the way, is a way of showing love. Final thoughts. So there you have it, 9 things that felt weird to me about Filipino culture. Some of them made me laugh, some made me scratch my head, but most of them I've come to admire. Whether it's eating with hands, raising a hand to cross the road, or buying gifts after a trip, these cultural quirks add so much character to life in the Philippines. And while they might feel unusual for a foreigner like me, they also remind me of what makes this country so unique. So now I'm curious, if you're Filipino, what do you think foreigners find weird about your culture? And if you're a foreigner, what stood out to you the most when you first experienced life here? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear them.